Welcome to Off the Treks. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday night on New Year's Day. I hope you're all toasty in your living rooms and bedrooms, wherever you are watching this. But I am Tim. I am the culture war realist. I'm a rational individualist. I'm the expanded universe absolutist. I'm the alpha with nostalgia. I know the Lord of the Core. I've got the hot takes for the bot takes. And most importantly, I am never a victim. Except when it comes to technology, because my aftershocks are only on medium charge. Plugged them in as soon as the stream was done Friday night. They didn't charge at all because the stupid ass charging block is broken. Tried to charge my phone afterwards. Earlier, it wasn't charging either, so I had to find another one, plug them in about 10 minutes before the stream was supposed to start. They've charged, I don't know, about 35 minutes, so hopefully they'll last quite a long time. They usually have a pretty good battery life. So that's what's happening. Plus, my mouse, it's like skipping and stuff. Same exact setup as the old studio. The PC's down here to the left. So I have no clue why it's like skipping around and lagging. I'm going wired. It seems like wireless mouse technology, whatever you want to call it, has regressed over the past 15 years. Because I used to have an awesome one and it would just work forever. You could be 30 feet away and there it is. Just like television remotes. Remember when you were a kid, you could like bounce it off the wall and all kinds. Now you got to like walk all the way up to the sensor, whatever it is, and then start changing the channel. So, you've heard me talk about this before. It's just tech is getting worse. I remember on my PC in 86, 87 at home thinking, man, I'm annoyed by not just the slow processing, but the process itself. Enter a boot up disk, right? Wait for that shit to happen. And then desktop came out, which was kind of like Windows, where you could click on icons and open stuff rather than using like the command prompt and stuff. And I thought, man, just think like when I'm an adult, how awesome computers are going to be. But they've largely remained the same. The same exact user experience. They try to change some stuff up over the years, but at the same time, like they try to do more as the processing power increases, and thus the user experience kind of remains the same, where everything is just slow as shit. It's annoying. Like I want Star Trek computers where I can say, hey, calculate this shit, figure this shit out, and it spits out an answer right away, and it does it in a woman's voice because they do what they're told. Anyways, if you're watching on replay, thank you very much. If you're watching live, share the stream out there, guys. All your Star Trek friends, family, get them in here because you've got a couple of guys that know Star Trek. Speaking of which, we're going to go ahead and bring on in the longtime co-host of Off the Treks. This guy carried the torch for a long time in Picard reviews, maybe Discovery. I don't really remember, but I know he did Picard for sure over the last year. And he is, of course, the Grand High Priest, Holy Order of the Jab, Greg, a.k.a. Tuscan Bob. What's going on, Greg?
Oh, no audio. Damn.
We still get to see the dance. You never put my dance in there.
I just never got around to it. I mean to, and then I'm like, I'll do it later. And then I forget about it. Because it has been a while since we've done this show together. So
yeah, it's true. It's January 14th. I think I might have popped on your channel a few times when you were talking. Yeah. Let's see who's up in the chat tonight. Clay Thomason showing up early. That thumbnail is creepy. Now, let me ask you this. Is it creepy because of a guy in a skirt or because of Will Wheaton? I mean, you could go either way, right? With that one.
I'm sure Will Wheaton wears a skirt most of his life.
Yeah. Even figuratively, right? I mean, Blake's up in the house. Don't hit the nose, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that's a great Phantom Menace reference there. Hit the nose. Alora's here. And by the way, let me go ahead and they still haven't fixed this in StreamYard, but I captured a screenshot here. We've got a 17-month member chat. Spacer First Class for 17 months. She's awesome. What a great way to start the new year. I agree. Talking about some Star Trek, some fun. Tell your friends that like Star Trek, guys. Fuke Norris, member of the channel, is here. Happy New Year's to you. Melissa Lord's here, always showing up to the Trek streams as well. Galadorn II is presenting his good vibes. Darth Side, aka the Listening Fat, is here. Slimer Snarf is here. Yeah, we can tell you what to do because we're the captain and executive officer. So
Rank
it's
has
just
its
whether
privileges.
it's the only question is, are you a red shirt or a blue shirt? And I went back on the watch streams to try to find the final count, and I don't think we ever listed it. But do you remember which color a shirt actually died the most? It wasn't red.
I think
Was it blue? Yeah, I think so.
I think it was blue.
And it makes sense because if you're a science or medical person, right, you're less equipped to defend yourself versus like, a command, security, or engineering guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion anyway.
If I could go back in time and advise the people running Star Trek back in the 60s, I would advise them to a lot of things, but one of the things I'd be like, hey, you need to be a little bit more consistent and create some more delineation between like what the uniform colors mean.
Yes.
Because sometimes it feels like it's just like, well, that's the uniform and the size of the actor of this week's episode.
Right.
So we'll use that one.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, and a lot of their jobs didn't even make sense or align with their
like why would you have like
color
security be the same color as engineering?
And they did it in TNG too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: in the movies, even in motion picture, but further on with the awesome, the burgundy colored ones, they actually
I love
had
that uniform.
Well, yeah, the color was up top, and they had every spectrum for whatever your division was. So that made a lot more sense. And you really don't notice it on camera, but a lot of the guides would show that. And then I go back and watch the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, Spock's wearing whatever the hell. I think it was, I can't remember what science was, but it had a color for every division, which I thought made a lot more sense. And it's like, guys, there's more than 3 colors. Right. So use them.
Well, and you could use, if you're going to go with symbols on like a collar and everything like that, with the ranks in TNG with the pips, like that would make a lot more sense, because then you wouldn't need to supply, manufacture, create all these different types of uniforms. You'd have a standard uniform, and then you could accessorize it based on your rank.
Well, and plus, like, even on the Delta
or your
shield,
specialty.
Yeah. Even on the Delta shield, like security and engineering had the same icon. Yeah. Now, here's what's weird. McCoy had the science one, right? But like Chapel had a red cross. Like, okay, I get how medical could be part of science, but why didn't he also have a red cross? It didn't make a lot of sense. It's like, guys,
no, they weren't. They weren't
creative.
Obviously, getting that production off the ground was, I would imagine, rather complicated at that time, and their budgets for the original show, were not exactly big. So they just kind of made do with what they had, and they never really. I don't think it was until like the Berman era of Star Trek where they really started to be able to like mass produce episodes of Star Trek very efficiently.
Yeah.
Like episodes had a timetable and a schedule, and it was just it was a production line to get, all right, principal, filmography. Then we're, after the writing is all settled, you do principal photography, special effects gets this much time. Boom. Here's the air date.
Yeah. And fascinating.
Well, they were able to, really streamline and do a lot of cost savings to keep to be able to do the other stuff in the shows that they wanted to do.
Yeah, fascinating book on that is whatever most recent edition there is of the companion to TNG and the
Mhm.
DS9 one as well. They go into all the details of every single episode, like what were the scenes that had to be cut, where did they get the story from, because it would be a fan or something had this idea. It was a simple like blurb and they got paid and then someone turned it into an actual teleplay. So it goes into
Mhm.
all that shit. It's a really interesting book. I don't have the newest one. I have the second one that covers all 7 seasons, but there's another one that does all 7 seasons plus like the films. But it's Star Trek The Next Generation Companion. And then TOS had the Compendium, and then the DS9 one is Companion. I think they did Voyager too, but I just obviously
I would have never
wasn't too
looked at that
interested
one.
in that one. So,
I was not a huge fan of Voyager. I'm a fan of
mhm,
Star Trek in general, but not
mhm,
Voyager so much. And obviously, my feelings about DS9.
yeah.
I can't give it a chance because of damn Kira, but the complexity of producing these shows, and remember,
Mhm.
this is when visual effects were much harder to create because
Yep.
computer technology at the time, I mean, we're talking TNG's what, 1987,
Yep.
86, 87, right?
They filmed, I believe, all of it in '87. It debuted in fall of
Fall of
'87.
87.
Mhm.
And they were able to produce 26 episodes a year
Mhm.
on average. Well,
Yep.
I mean, 26, I think, was the cap. There might have been one with 27, but
Yeah,
they were
there
all
was.
like 24 to 27 episodes, something like that, a year.
Mhm.
And now you have these modern shows in the streaming era, and it's like, oh, we can only do like 6 30 to 40-minute episodes for a season of uh, Mandalorian or something, or 8 episodes. I mean, it's so
And they
different now
sucked
how they
too.
produce stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
they're terrible.
Mhm. Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of terrible episodes in TNG as you watch through the entire series of 8 seasons of it or whatever. There's some god awful bad episodes. Same with TOS,
Mhm.
but
Oh,
on the
yeah, that
whole,
3rd season. Wow.
on the whole, it was pretty good. And the nice thing about these shows, of course, was that you could dip in and dip out. And if you had a bad episode, it didn't spoil the whole goddamn season.
Yeah.
It was just like, well, that one wasn't so good. We'll wait till next week.
Mhm.
And then
Agreed.
when you go and rewatch them, you can just skip the ones. Like if you were to go a streaming service or put in the disc and you start watching one episode and you're like, oh yeah, I remember this one. This one sucks. Just skip to the next one. You don't
Yeah,
need to watch every episode.
correct. In fact, with any show, like even my Babylon 5 suggested watch order and all that stuff, like
Mhm.
the first time, even I do it with TNG and whatever else, watch these first, then you can go back and watch them all just to kind of like, see
Fill
what
in the
else.
gaps and
Yeah,
be a
yeah,
completionist.
yeah, yeah. But I don't recommend like doing the whole thing. Some people will say it's sacrilege, but like, nah, watch what's key first, what's good, and then go back and kind of watch the whole thing. And then number one, you'll realize, oh, that's why we didn't watch it all. Number two, you can maybe get some character moments and stuff that would be fresh. And then here's what's really cool. And you could do this with any show, especially like science fiction that runs many seasons. I did it with Babylon 5. You only watch character episodes. So if you're watching TNG, say, hey, I'm only going to watch Geordie episodes, right?
Oh,
So
good God.
yeah,
Why would you want to, though?
yeah. Well, maybe you like the character, maybe you
That
like the character.
character, like, I don't like LeVar Burton as an actor. Well, I'll be
No.
honest, like, all the TNG actors are repulsive to me now. Like,
Hmm.
I don't like a single one of them. And it makes watching the show, like, it's to the point where it's make watching the show is difficult because I dislike the actors so much.
Hmm.
Um, Never felt that way about, like, you have George Takei and his antics and everything, but like on the, like I can like just wave him away, but man, the entire goddamn TNG cast sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
But Jordy, holy shit! Like I was talking when on spacing about like how long this culture war really has been going on.
Hmm.
Jordy was a fucking incel before the
Yep.
word even existed. They made him a terrible, awkward, weirdo incel.
He was the proto Harry Kim.
Yeah. And you know, like the actresses complain, like Crusher and Troy and everything about like, oh, they made us do like yoga and do girl talk stuff that was so demeaning. Be like, yeah, what they did with your characters doesn't like pales in comparison to how cucked out and pathetic they made Geordie LaForge.
Yeah, for sure.
They made him a hopeless loser.
Mm-hmm.
Like entire episode centered around him being a hopeless, lonely loser incel.
Like Leah Brahms, that whole thing
Yeah.
when he met like the real one, that was sad, and I was like really uncomfortable.
It became a
for the
running
actor,
joke about like
wow.
Geordie's bad with the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You know that one
Barkley, that
cringe
entire
episode?
character is that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then that one cringe episode where he simps for this girl, and she was like an alien. It was like one of the later seasons. I think what the fuck was the name of that episode? The name of the episode was Her Name. I can't think of what it was, but yeah, it was terrible. Anyway, let's continue saying hi here. So
Yeah.
30 seconds for me to be. Do you mean in the 80s or now? That junk man, nice Leia. Speaking of stuff like on the wall, like here's my Star Trek cube. I certainly have more Star Trek stuff than this, but this is what fits. I got a Captain Picard doll. I've got an Elam Garrick doll. I got that ceramic plate thing, and I've got Star Trek 25th anniversary, and I have my original Mego Spock from childhood. Don't have the phaser, the tricorder, and the Delta shield, like the actual thing it ripped off. So
anybody who played or opened with the toys, they don't have the accessories.
No. Well, I have a few original Star Wars, but I have no idea how I kept up with them all those years, but I did somehow. Will Wheaton's creepier. Leaf Larson, member of the channel in the house. What's going on, Leaf? Tehalim 29's here. You identify with Q. You identify as Q. If you do that, then you can like snap stuff into existence, man. All you got to do is identify.
I would do with his powers.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like all the women's clothes are gone. I mean, first order of business.
Well, yeah, and there's another example. The entire Ferengi race, as originally conceived, is the capitalist pig with his foot on the desk.
Power.
Doing nothing while all of the people he's exploiting make him all of his money. Right?
Yep. No, but we've got some articles here, and it's just a coincidence that they're all Screen Rant. I didn't go to Screen Rant. I went to Google and I just typed in Star Trek, and then all the ones I found to be noteworthy of at least discussing, even from a comedy standpoint, were all Screen Rant. So, surprise. Did you take a look at it? Any of these? Did I send any of these to you? I think I did.
You did. You sent me 3 of them.
3 of them. Okay. I want to skip that one for now.
Without getting into the specifics of the articles, I just got to say, like, these sites, and Screen Rant is one of the top ones.
Yes.
I don't understand how these writers don't Minecraft themselves.
Well, what does Minecraft mean?
Euphemism for self-deleting. Because imagine this, you want to be a journalist, right?
Yeah.
And what do you end up doing? You end up working for a company that just dictates, hey, we need to produce 5 episodes or 5 articles every week with Star Trek in them, or Star Wars in them, or Marvel in them. And that's how they base their entire, how they assign all their work. And so then these writers got to go dig up stupid things to talk about in order to generate these fake news, fake articles about the subject, because people search for the subject. People search for Star Trek. People search for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so every week it's this process where they have to hunt for something to talk about in this category, even if there's
Yep.
really nothing going on. And honestly, like, I would find assembly line work to be more rewarding and fulfilling than the grind that these authors or writers have to go through, like, every week. I almost feel bad for them because, like, how you can't possibly be proud of the work you're doing if you're working for
I'm gonna
these
do a
sites.
test here. Star Wars. Let's just type this into Google. All right, go to news. Let's find an example here. Let's see. I got to find, because there's real news, and then you'll find one of these.
Yeah, like
Here's one.
legitimate press
Here's one.
releases and announcements, and that's
And it's
fair
Screen
game.
Rant. It's Screen Rant 2 days ago. Just listen to this headline. I'm not even going to click on it. The Mandalorian season 3 continues to prove the sequel's big mistake. Like, like it's just going to be some manufactured subject, to your point, right? That
Yeah.
tries to justify an article so that someone will do what I just did and go Google it and then find it.
Yeah,
And then it's just
then
completely pointless. Inverse is really bad about that. Like, really,
they're
really
almost
bad.
they almost all operate like, I'm picturing like the editor, just like he's just emailing out assignments, just to be like, well, what do we have this week? Well, we need our standard 5 articles on Star Trek. We need our standard 5 articles on Star Wars. Our standard 5 articles about the MCU. And then we'll do the other stories that pop up during the week. But we need these to keep generating these website clips.
Hits.
And one of the articles, and maybe we'll cover this one first, is the ratings one. I couldn't think of a more pointless
We can cover that one. Sure.
in existence.
Let me pull it up here. Oh, by the way, another technology gripe, my Westinghouse television that I used as a monitor in the old studio, used it the other night. It won't turn on. And I've tried some troubleshooting stuff. I think it's just dead because we bought it like Christmas 2014, I think it was. So I think it's just dead.
It's had a good life.
Mm-hmm. It's a 32-incher, so I'll probably buy an actual monitor to go with my other two. That one's 32, this one's 29. So maybe another 29 would be good. Anyway, let me share my screen here. So this is one of the pieces we found, and it's from this John Orchiola. All these names. First Contact broke Star Trek's movie ratings rule. And just trust me here. First Contact was a first for the Star Trek movie franchise, as it broke long-standing MPAA records set by TOS movies. Here's what I want to do. Let's skip down before we talk about what you want to talk about. And it's, hang on, give me a minute here. Here it is. Even with the death of Spock, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, was also rated PG by MPAA.
Oh God!
You stupid ass motherfuckers!
To not mention that PG-13 didn't exist.
1984.
Yep.
And it was made for a few different movies. If you listen to rumor, one of them was Red Dawn, right? And I can't think of what the other one was, but there's another movie that they used it on first.
Like, hey, so, there's like, hey, we need something in between these two, because like we don't want to slap the R rating on too much stuff because that'll decrease box office. So we need some intermediary. I mean, like, I think like Police Academy was PG. Like, there's fucking titties in that. And I appreciate them. Thank you, the people that made them. You helped my youth.
Yeah, they would show those on HBO during the daytime when they knew kids were at school.
So PG-13 didn't exist until 1984.
Correct.
So like it would be impossible for Star Trek 1 through 3 to be rated unless they would go R.
Yeah.
So, and to not even mention that in the article is extraordinary malpractice. Because I
See
can
who this guy is.
guarantee that if Wrath of Khan came out today, it would be PG fucking 13. It's the most PG 13 of all the Star Trek movies. Period.
Well, look at this guy. He's Screen Rant Star Trek beat editor, because there's an actual Star Trek beat just for Screen Rant.
Right,
Senior
like there's that much
feature
Star
staff
Trek
writer.
shit going on that you need a beat editor.
And he doesn't look that young, so it's like, dude, number one, you don't have to exist in 1984 to know that. It's called searching Wikipedia.
Google.
Even. Yeah,
when did PG-13 start?
Exist first?
And like the first Google result would be 1984.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but like the rating system really didn't come into effect until what was it, the late 60s, and then they changed it up a few times, and then I don't think it's been, the last change they had was like in the late 90s. They took NC-17 from no children under 17 to no children 17 and under. In other words, you had to be 18. I don't know if you guys know that or not. NC-17 doesn't mean 17. You had to be 18. And they changed that about 8 years after they came out with NC-17. And the reason they came out with it is so that it didn't have the X rating that people associated with like pornography.
Hardcore porn, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the rating systems, at least in the United States, is still voluntary, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get a rating.
In some states, there are some state laws, like Tennessee requires an adult for an R movie. It's not just, it's not just like a voluntary thing. Like if
you go unrated, then it basically the movie theaters consider that R.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to actually go through the rating process.
Yes. Anyway, what about this did you want to talk about? What else?
That was the major thing.
So here's what it is. Here's what it is for the audience, Greg. So they're basically saying, hey, it was the first PG-13
it was groundbreaking
Star Trek movie. Yeah. Yeah.
And like what importance is that? Just on the whole, like even if you're the biggest Star Trek fan in the fucking world, like who gives a shit?
And this had nothing to do with it. Like this kiss? Like, are you kidding?
No, it was the violence in the movie with like creepy cyborg characters. They thought it was too horror like.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't have anything to do with that. It might have had to do with like, Picard ripping apart, Ensign Lynch.
Yeah, excessive drinking and some cussing and it was the sum of everything, but a kiss, like are you stupid? Implied sex? No. Like to your point, go back to
that
the
wouldn't
80s.
have been the turning point. And if the other things were absent, that wouldn't have been the turning point.
Right.
But this is just a great example of a complete nothing article with the Star Trek name on it to get some clicks. Like this is of no importance to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And, factually like misleading anyway, because again, the rating system Wrath of Khan couldn't have gotten a PG-13 rating because it didn't exist at the time.
Right.
I mean, which is pretty obvious. And then the other thing is that the standards for what is and isn't PG-13 also change. Like the MPAA alters its standards and guidelines for what qualifies as what each movie is. So like a PG-13 movie now is not going to be the same as a PG-13 movie 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Those standards change. So it's really of completely zero significance and a great illustration of just garbage tier journalism.
Yeah. And it's just hilarious to point out. And here's what's scary about it. If you're some ignoramus that finds this article and doesn't know all this stuff, you take it into account that, hey, this is something noteworthy, right? If you look at this website 10 years from now, because articles stay out there. When I Google stuff, I'll find articles from way back in the day. And you're going to take it as gospel, like, wow, that's what people were thinking at that time. and it's just stupid, and that's why we have to talk about it. It's entertaining to talk about, but plus we're exposing how stupid these people are. This John Orchiola.
Yeah.
Golly.
The greatest thing about First Contact is the uniform change.
Yeah, the DS9 uniform.
Yeah. Those uniforms. I like my favorite uniform is from
Movie.
the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Not the motion picture. Those were silly.
Oh, those were 70s garbage.
Yeah, those were weird. But I loved the red uniforms with the flap that came down. Those were snappy.
Yeah, and the pants.
But these were pretty good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good stuff.
Like the aesthetic there. I mean, that is like more like write an article about that. But the thing is they have to crank out so many of these articles. They probably have.
Mm-hmm.
They probably have written and be like, oh, look at the groundbreaking change in the uniforms.
You know, something else we exposed in our watch streams almost,
Mm-hmm.
not almost, it was exactly 2 years ago, believe it or not. Can you believe that?
No.
Yeah, 2 years ago, man. Anyway, we exposed this whole thing of the odd numbered movies are bad and the even ones are good. Remember that?
Yes. I was never a big fan of that, and like I didn't hold that to be like, oh yeah, the studio it's an odd one, so the studio's not going to try for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like even if it actually held true,
mm-hmm.
it's still like so they're like sabotaging it, like, oh, we can't make a good one that's an odd numbered one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's make a shitty version of Star Trek or a worse version of Star Trek because it's an odd one. We have to apply the rule.
And what was bad about the Search for Spock? What was bad about it? Like, seriously. I've never understood that perception that it was bad. I mean, so many great scenes and moments and lines and all that stuff. I thought it was great.
It just didn't like it was a step down from Wrath of Khan, but Wrath of Khan is so goddamn good.
Yeah.
That, I mean, that's a natural thing. Like you're not going to be able to continue on that level, I don't think.
Yes.
And I think that they cut some corners on the budget with Star Trek 3 that I would, take some issue with, but like story-wise, it was great.
Oh, dude, and you had like
great character moments in that movie.
Well, you had Christopher Lloyd,
Krug
just chewed the scenery up, and you even had Dan from Night Court as one of his officers. I mean, just fantastic stuff. So, and then 5
Christopher Lloyd as Krug was just great.
Yes. Then 5 legitimately bad. 1, I mean, shit, a few months ago. No, not a few months ago. That was way back in the spring. I went to you went as well to the theater to see it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was, in my opinion, true to Star Trek.
It is unfairly maligned.
Mm-hmm. It's because, like, I saw someone just when I was researching like stuff to talk about for this stream, someone make the comment about blah blah blah. That was tonight. It said I found a way to enjoy the motion picture. You watch it on 1.5 speed. Like, okay, I think they knew what they were going for, and they accomplished that. They were going for more like a Stanley Kubrick type feel, yet with the Star Trek characters, and they were true to character. All the scenes we covered this in our watch stream. I mean,
I'll tell you, I'll watch 1 every time over Generations, Nemesis, and Insurrection. Good God.
And possibly even Voyage Home.
I'd take 5 over the TNG movies, with the exception of First Contact.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
the TNG movies are actually quite terrible.
Someone could make a cut of 5 that takes out like the boots, takes out certain lines and scenes, and it would be a lot better. But just the
They
whole
get really screwed that on the budget too. 5 had such a
Mhm.
shit budget, and and that was such a weird thing because like Star Trek 4 was the biggest, most successful Star Trek movie to date, and then their follow up they went super cheap.
Yeah.
Like I just don't understand that. And maybe the
What's going
studio
on
was just having
YouTube Me?
problems at the time. I know, probably.
Yeah, I think you told us that back then, Yvonne, and so did I, and I think you went to that as well, didn't you, Greg?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it was fantastic.
Oh, it was so great seeing it on the big screen
With the cutscenes and
with the cut scenes, and then just to be able to like be immersed in the audio,
mhm.
the surround sound, and that fantastic fucking score and
Yep.
intense moments.
Mhm.
Yeah, that movie. I could watch that one. I could watch that one every day. I mean,
We
I
ought to
love that
check
movie
later
so
to see
much.
if yeah, we ought to check later to see if they're doing a search for Spock.
I
So,
sincerely hope so,
mhm.
but I think that would be a good Search for Spock would be a good one to like remaster
Yeah.
because like the matte backgrounds and stuff on Vulcan and everything leave or no, yeah, yeah, on Vulcan there at the end leave a lot to be desired. And some of the background and when when the planet's breaking up and stuff like that would a little remastering work there would certainly enhance that movie quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, they're asking
But it's
for
still a
it.
good movie. I'd go see it.
Oh yeah. They're asking for it. So let's go ahead and talk about one of the main topics here. Did you read this article?
I think I've read most of it. I got oh,
So yeah, I'll have to read this, guys, so you can fully understand the context of what's going on here and what Will Wheaton's actually doing and and it's kind of like with Star Wars, what they're doing to reshape what Star Trek originally meant. It says here, and this one's by Sean Corley. Let's see who the hell he is really quick. He is a pop culture enthusiast living in the Pacific Northwest. Okay,
I'm
he's
so
a
shocked.
nobody. A nobody. Um, Star Trek names the one society more brutal than Cardassians, and you see how brutal they are, like in Chain of Command parts 1 and 2, in uh, Tribunal from DS9. Like their whole culture is very fascist and authoritarian, like more than even Romulans and stuff.
Of the major races, I would say they're probably, but like I'm sure we've seen. I can't come up with one off the top of my head, but like
But
I'd
not a
probably
major
like I
power.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I would say like the society, like I think we've seen certain races that are well beyond the Cardassians, but yeah, Cardassians would be a major uh galactic empire, like of this, scope of the Federation and everything. They would be,
Hmm.
yeah. Klingons are pretty damn brutal too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's not like the Klingons are nice people. They're conquerors.
Hmm.
But then
Anyway,
if you want to count Voyager, like those hunter people, the Eurasian, like they're not exactly nice guys.
oh yeah. Hmm.
Predator wannabes,
Hmm.
or the Borg. They're just cold and just meticulous and just fucking annihilate everything. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and I think they say then Cardassians because of the context of what Wheaton did here.
Yeah, yeah.
Star Trek has revealed there is one society more brutal than the infamous Cardassians, but human beings aren't going to like the answer. The Cardassians are one of the most brutal races in the Star Trek universe, but now one shocking species, shocking, has been revealed to be even more severe. In IDW publishing Star Trek number 400. By the way, why is it number 400? Did they continue one of the earlier lines? There's no way they
I
have
have no
400
idea.
issues. Or maybe it's one of those ones like a gimmick where they skip ahead. You know what I mean? They do that with comics a lot. Like Wizard magazine would, like in the package would slip in like, oh, it's X-Men number 1200, knowing you'd never get to that issue or whatever, who knows? We'll have to do more research. Wesley Crusher, now one of the godlike travelers. And isn't that, didn't he appear in Picard?
Yep. Season 2 of Picard, they gave
That's
him
what I thought. Yeah.
a scene that was just terrible.
Yeah.
Acted terribly as well. Like the motherfucker can't act. He just, all he does is just stand there with a smug fucking look on his face.
Oh, it's not acting.
The infinitely punchable Will Wheaton.
Yeah. Travels back to Earth in the year 2024 and is shocked by the violence and suffering that he sees, and concludes 21st century humans are even more brutal than the Cardassians. So it's humans. Mm-hmm. And what this means, guys, what this,
to say.
Well, yeah, what this is an analogy for is like anti-Americanism. That's what it is. Like, you go to any reputable higher learning institution and all the professors hate America and they teach their students to do the same. And that's what's going on here, except for America, it's humans, right? Mm-hmm. Humans of the past, because we're so enlightened in the 24th century now. Because they think these idiots, and we'll go into this shit too. These idiots think that it's an endorsement for communism, for socialism. Star Trek is, and it's not.
Yep.
Because we've gone into this, and there's a couple of good Twitter accounts. I can't think of what they are off the top of my head, but I follow them. They have not returned the favor, but maybe they will someday. But anyway, it's because Star Trek, the Federation, is a post-scarcity society. You can only have something like that when it's post-scarcity. Like right now, there are limited resources, right? Whether
limited
it's
resources and everything like this. This is
and labor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is everything wrong with everything that could be wrong in the science fiction world, not just Star Trek, but
yes,
specifically Star Trek. When you attempt to tackle contemporary issues by direct reference or comparison to some futuristic world where you have magic bullshit tech, is intellectually retarded. Because look, they solved the healthcare issue. Yeah, because they magically cured every disease, and every freaking wound requires just a wave of a little whirly thing, and you're all better. Mm-hmm. If we had that technology, medicine would be very freaking cheap.
Right.
Because I don't look, in the TNG universe going forward, holograms are doctors. You don't even have to hire and train a doctor.
Yeah.
And you have all this magic bullshit tech and be like, whoa, look at this. Healthcare is for everybody. Well, yes, because you've magically cured all the diseases almost. And the only times you don't, it's just a matter in the episode of, well, we need to transport this miracle medicine from this planet to this planet. That's always the mission in Star Trek, right? Whenever there's some plague going on some planet, the issue is like the Enterprise or whatever ship has got to get the medicine to the planet on time. Not we have to find the cure.
There's some kind of distraction, yeah.
Right, yeah. Or there's some other and then the doctor has to get on his high horse about the people, and it's a standard kind of a tropey thing in Star Trek whenever there's some sort of planetary plague that they're dealing with. The same thing goes for energy, material production. When you magic bullshit tech, all the negatives, all the counter arguments, you can make the case where you're like, oh, well, look at it. It works. Okay. You know what? Fine. I'll adopt your political ideology as soon as you invent unlimited energy, replicators, and technology to magically scrub the world of all all pollution and all the bad things, and you cure all the diseases. When you do those 4 things, I'll consider your political ideology, but that's not the world we live in. And when Star Trek or any other science fiction property, Orville does this in spades, by the way, tries to wave away reality with magic bullshit tech in the future, and then say, look at all the bad things we're doing. We're morally deficient as a society because we don't have these things or we don't do these things. It's like, again, sure, you can solve the transportation issue if everybody can beam everywhere instantaneously. Great. No more car pollution. You don't even need to produce cars, and energy is so abundant that everybody can just transport everywhere and life is great. But that's not the world we live in. And so you can't take your Star Trek characters, throw them back in time, and then lecture us in the current time that we're somehow morally deficient. And it's just that we just don't try hard enough. Like we really like pollution. That's why we don't want to go back to the Stone Age to save us from the magic sun monster. Or we really like acid rain or everything like that. And to pick the 24th or the 2024 to go back to and say, like, this is the proving point that humanity was worse than the Cardassians. Do you have any concept of history of the real world or your own fictional world? Because in the fictional world, there was a whole nother fucking world war that takes place between our current time right now and when Star Trek timeline exists. There's a whole nother war. Watch First Contact. They allude to it very specifically.
Well, they allude to it in TOS with Colonel Green. You know, the episode with Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
So
yes. So, like, even in the science fiction universe, you retard, Will Wheaton. Like, 2024 is a bad example of, like, this is the worst of humanity. Like, really, we're more violent. The Earth is worse off than it was in the 19th century, where we had world wars. I don't think so. Even the environment is better now than it was 30 years ago, for fuck's sake. I'm ranting, and it's because this is what I hate in science fiction the most, is when you wave away problems with magic bullshit tech. Orville did the same shit, and that's why I stopped watching it, is when they did the episode with the goddamn turtle people. Bortus, right? They had the episode about transgenderism. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, great. You know, it's no big deal if it's an outpatient procedure that takes like 15 minutes and then you're completely, wholly 100% the other gender.
Yeah.
With zero side effects, full reproduction ability, all that. So you take all those issues, throw them away with magic bullshit tech, and then you go, well, whoa, I don't understand. You know, we should be able to accept these things. Be like, well, because you're dismissing all the counter arguments with bullshit tech. And I hate that. Like, you can tell moral tales without doing this lecturing us in our times. Like, oh, we're so primitive because we have, like, oh, the world would be so much better if we had unlimited energy. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Pollution-free, unlimited energy, and everything would be better. Oh,
who couldn't use
really? Thank you. That's very helpful. Would you please make that then, Will Wheaton? You don't like the pollution level on the planet? You don't like what we're doing? Then by all means, invent the shit and show us how to, and then give the technology away for free, and then we can all live in your fucking hippie utopia. But even in Star Trek, it's not a utopia. There's merchants, trade, suffering, war, violence, all the things that are in our current world that Star Trek likes to lecture about exist in their world in the actual episodes all the way through every single series, period. Sorry. I just really did on fucking strikes a nerve.
Here's what's crazy. I have never seen an Alien movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge
Should
fan
I?
of them, to be honest.
So
Alien
let
ones.
me ask this: if I like Predator, do you think I should see Alien?
I think they're different kind of movies. I think Predator's a little bit more of an action movie, a little less science fiction, and I think Alien's more horror than it is science fiction.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
I mean, there's certainly elements of science fiction. Obviously, it's future and they're in space and it's aliens and shit like that. But like, I guess it depends on how you define and limit those genres.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, just
But I was
random
never a huge
factoid
fan.
there. Random factoid there.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Predator's fantastic. The first and second one.
It's
Anyway,
fun. They're
I
fun.
like both of them. Yeah. I think we did a stream on Blake's channel and we talked about how the second one was, in my opinion, it was like every bit as good as the first because they're like, okay, we got to make this one different. And they did. It's like, let's put it in an urban setting. Let's change up like who's fighting them and stuff like that. I thought it was fantastic. But we're
But they
sidetracked.
they are different.
Oh yeah. I skipped a paragraph here. In the season 2 finale of Star Trek Picard, Wesley Crusher used his powers of time and space manipulation to travel to 2024 to recruit a new traveler. IDW's landmark blah 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 story written by Will Wheaton himself gives Wesley's thoughts on life in the year 2024, a world full of hatred, greed, and suffering, with a polluted environment and casual violence that would shock even the Cardassians. Wesley finally concludes it was a miracle humanity made it out of the 21st century. Well, yeah, to your point earlier, do you know what happens after just this? You know, there was like
know your own fucking timeline.
It wasn't just World War III. It was like genetic cleansing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, some really awful shit.
Mm-hmm. Artist.
And the point of that in the Star Trek lore was to kind of like say, like, look, like we want to project an optimistic future, but like there's going to be some pretty big bumps in the road to get us there.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many issues with the way the Star Trek, well, one, the economy of Star Trek would never work as we've seen it, or as it's explained by the new fans who think it's just socialist utopia and all about diversity. But it wouldn't, like, it can't work because, like, imagine if we had all that bullshit technology right now. What would humanity do with itself?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you had basically like all your basic needs were met without any effort by you, the world would, like, 95% of the world's population would be bloggers and slam poets.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wouldn't need to do anything else. Nobody would do anything. And that's always the problem when you get into these kind of like economic schemes, is like, okay, you're going to have this kind of top-down approach. Everybody thinks that they're going to be the artist who gets to write music, even if it's bad or not. And it's like, nope, you're going to work the coal mine because somebody has to. And if nobody chooses to, then we're going to have to force somebody to.
Yeah.
Which is what happens under the economic schemes that these people always praise so much. But this world wouldn't be able to handle that. Like, everybody would do nothing. It would be worse than the most depraved. It would be the most depraved and soulless society ever to ever exist. Because it would have no motivation. It would have no drive to do anything. There'd be a few out there that would just do it because they're interested in a subject. Like, hey, I'm interested in rocketry because, I like rockets. There'd be a few of those, but not much. Everybody else is just going to be like, I'm like, if I'm going to get free food, free shelter, free healthcare, free everything, I'm just going to be a YouTuber with 5 subs.
Yeah.
Because why would you need to do anything else? Like, who the fuck is going to fix the broken water main when it's 25 below zero?
Yeah.
Who in the Star Trek Society would just do that because of the love of the work? Because in the Star Trek Society, we're supposed to believe, and this really came about in the later parts of the TNG eras of Star Trek, that humanity has just evolved and we don't think of personal, the Picard lectures that was really awful in First Contact, which I hated. Like, humanity has evolved, and be like, who in the evolved society is going to be like, you know what, for the betterment of mankind, I'm going to be the guy that cleans the shitter?
Yeah.
Nobody. And the problem if you have that approach when you watch these episodes, and I think when we get back into going through episode by episode, I think I'm going to watch these things and kind of clip them out, just clip pictures, be like, oh, that guy right there, who's like, seems to be like some menial, like entry level retail worker. Like, that guy's doing it because that's his calling. That is his true calling. When he became an adult, he's like, that is my calling. That's all I want to do with my life. I want to be a waitress on Ryza.
Yeah.
By the way, like, if there's no money and nobody has to do anything, like, why isn't everybody on fucking Ryza?
Mm-hmm.
Like, see, it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
This picture that people have of Star Trek doesn't work. And it's not what we're shown on the screen either. We see bartering, we see trading, we see money, we see commerce, we see capitalism all over the place in every episode practically. So this idea that this perfect communist society utopia thing, like, that's not what we're seeing. It would be like, it's what we're told, right? Picard, that speech in frickin' First Contact, but that's not what we're shown. So it would be like you're watching a show and the characters are like, hey, let's all get in this limousine. And the other character's like, yes, this limousine looks awesome. And then they show the characters getting into a beat up taxi.
Yeah.
And then you're going, but they said it's a limousine, so that's what it is. It's a limousine because they said it's a limousine. Well, that's not what they showed us. They showed us a goddamn taxi cab.
Mm-hmm.
Drives me nuts.
That's a good point.
Like, nobody, like, even in Starfleet, like, half the jobs, like, you got to go to Picard, like, the guy who's the receptionist at Starfleet headquarters there at his little podium, who doesn't know who Picard is somehow. He's like, and your name? And he's like, I'm Picard. And that's just before he goes to see Captain or Admiral Sheer fucking Hubris.
Mm-hmm.
Picard season 1. Like that was his life goal. That was the way he was going to better society. He's like, I was born to be the receptionist at Starfleet headquarters.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. Like, cause I don't need to make a living. I don't need material things because those are all provided. So this is just what I'm going to do with my time. This is my calling. I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to stand at the stupid podium at Starfleet headquarters and basically be a Walmart greeter.
Yeah.
Like, welcome to Starfleet. Have a nice day. Like, it doesn't work. That society couldn't work because nobody would do that if all their basic needs were met and there wasn't material things and people didn't have possessions.
Mm-hmm.
So you give all the flowery speeches in the movies or in the episodes about humanity is so much better and more evolved and higher thinking and everything like that. Nope. Sorry. Don't buy it. And that's not what you're showing us. And by the way, like that reference to the person in Star Trek Picard that he goes to the future or goes to the past to go pick up and make a traveler is the character that's the genetically engineered daughter of Data's creator's great grandfather, who looks just exactly like Data and Noonien Sung and everybody else in the entire lineage of that family all look like Brent Spiner. Nice. Every one of them. And that actress also was the robot twins from season 1, same actress. Like, what a dumb show.
Well, yeah, look here it is right here.
Dumb.
Artist Joe Eisma joined Wheaton for the story. And they have this panel here. And then, where the hell is he?
Oh, we signed this actress on for season 2, so we need to give her a role. Oh,
just Los Angeles 2024. This time and place, so much suffering, so much greed and hatred, filthy air and water, casual violence that would shock even the Kardashians. He's in LA. I wonder which neighborhoods have that. Endless war, and the worst hasn't. I wonder if it's Antifa too. Hasn't even come to pass. It is remarkable that my species survived this century. Okay, Wesley, here goes everything, and then that's the chick right there.
Yeah,
that you're talking about, and that's the end of the story. That's the end of Star Trek.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb because the complaints aren't even the worst in the timeline or in human actual history. Like, would you rather live now or in the Middle Ages? Mm-hmm. Like, which was the world more barbaric? In the Middle Ages or now?
Definitely the Middle Ages.
We're more efficient at killing things because of technology, but the world was way more violence dictated everything in the world. The world was completely run through force in those ages. I'd pick now, and not just because of the convenience of modern society, but just the philosophy. Like, we're way better than we were so many years ago. And it's weird because it's like, oh, none of the other races in Star Trek 2 like don't have some like difficult path that they went through to get to where they were in the timeline that they exist in Star Trek. Ooh, what's going on? You didn't mute, buddy. I don't know what else I can say about Will Wheaton other than like I hate him and he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And the things he's espousing just don't work. Like I muted you, so you get on. Did you unmute? Okay.
He's a perfect compliment to a lot of the Star Trek fan base, is what he is.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm. He's one of them on screen. And I feel like he really leaned into it over the last 20 years in the internet era when he realized, maybe his career isn't going to go anywhere. And then, we had all those guest spots on the show that is discriminatory against our people, nerds. You know which show I'm talking about. Oh, I hate that show. Big Bang Theory.
Yep.
Oh, I hate it.
It's one of those. It was just like it was mocking us, and like we thought it was flattering us. Like in the nerd culture, not we as like you and I, but It's like, no, they weren't painting us in a particularly good light. They're
Mm-mm.
painting us in a
And then
particularly
plus
terrible light.
they always badmouth Babylon 5 as well. So
Yeah, well, because it wasn't because it didn't get the ratings.
mm-hmm.
So it was just like it was dunking on the show that didn't,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't as popular.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's and they go on to talk more about this shit here. Um, Mass shootings, blah blah. Yeah, and police brutality again. Like they're in Los Angeles. Like, what is the majority of the violence in Los Angeles? We really don't need to go into it, but I think everyone here knows. But instead, they choose to talk about this other stuff. I don't know. It's disgusting that they can't acknowledge truth. And anyone, guys, we've talked about this on all my streams. Anyone who wants to hide, omit, or straight up lie about the truth is your enemy, because the truth is what you need. The truth leads to your salvation, to your individual liberty. And when people take that away, even when it's not straight up lying, when they keep the truth from you, they're not good people. Period. And that's what they're doing here in this article and in a lot of these stories. Um, let's see. So anything else on that? That was a pretty long rant you went on there, Greg. You're muted, Greg. He must have stepped away. We had this stupid article here, and it's almost like a no shit type article by the same person as the first one we looked at, this John Orchiola. Every way Strange New Worlds has already changed TOS. And we all know the ways because we've talked about them on this stream after the first several episodes came out. The Enterprise is the Federation flagship. Dr. Mbenga, who looks nothing, or from what I've seen, acts nothing like the original Dr. Mbenga, confirmed in Strange New Worlds Episode 3 that the Enterprise is the flagship. This is a retcon that brings Strange New Worlds Enterprise in line with the new status given to the legacy of Star Trek's most famous starship. Kirk's Enterprise in TOS wasn't the flagship, and that accolade was given to the 24th century, the D.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, is this a positive thing? Like, give us more John Orchiola or whatever. Is it John? Yeah, John Orchiola. Pike's Enterprise looks bigger and can do things Kirk's can't. Yeah, you told us as much as this. Like, where was all this? Where was all this shit in TOS when this happens like 10, 15 years before?
Yep.
Again, guys, it's reshaping. It's, what was that quotation from Andor that we exposed months before the show even debuted? We found this little phrase that, what's his name, the showrunner had said about everything you thought you knew was wrong. Well, that's what this is right here. It's like, who cares if it visually doesn't match? Who cares? Same thing with JJ Trek. Oh, it all looks different because it's an alternate timeline. Bullshit.
It looks different for many other reasons than it's just the alternate timeline. They changed it into an action movie instead of a Star Trek movie when you're talking about the JJ stuff. The Pike stuff, yeah, it's designed to change the context of the TOS in the following seasons to be more in line with Discovery and Picard.
You know what? We need to put a poll out in the stream here. Let me see if I can do one. Start a poll.
What's the poll?
Do you like Star Trek 2009?
I'm voting no.
It's a binary answer here, guys. Yes or no. I'm just curious with the 15 to 17 people watching right now. Like, what do you guys think? Okay, let me keep going here. So, it appears larger and roomier, although this may just be because Pike's crew numbers in the 200s, while Kirk's expands to 430. That makes no sense. If you have visuals, it wouldn't matter how many people you have. This guy's an idiot, man. He's a bigger idiot than the one that wrote the Will Wheaton article.
Well, it's because
13.
they want the sets to be bigger,
Mhm.
to look bigger and not be as cramped. And it's like, but that's not how they would build the starships.
Yeah.
With big, huge, open, pointless chasms in them.
Yep. 13. Pike knows his tragic future in detail. He learns he'll be disfigured. Did you see that episode?
Yeah, that was actually in Discovery, not Strange New Worlds. He's dealing with it in.
Oh yeah,
Strange
that's what
New
it says
Worlds.
here. Discovery.
But it happened in Discovery, where he got himself his hands on some magic bullshit Klingon time crystals.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Klingon time crystals.
Yeah, they have the sanctuary that underneath them there's these crystals that can, show you the past and the future and shit. Yeah. Which you'd think the Klingons would have used to really effectively conquer the entire universe, considering that they're kind of a warrior race and that's what they do, but they just chose not to.
It's stupid. 12. Pike plans to groom Kirk as Enterprise captain. I had to add that modifier there, And this Kirk looks completely awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They're gonna. Yeah, well, they have to knock down James Kirk.
This is the biggest offense, in my opinion, right here, of everything, because it proves, just like JJ did, it proves that this show does not exist. And ignore all the visuals and the anachronous technology, all that stuff. It proves this does not exist in Star Trek canon, because that is not the way that it happened at all. It's just they're reinventing Star Trek. And then 10 years from now, like, a lot of the information out there on the old episodes will be gone. It'll be scrubbed and a lot of people won't remember. That's why we have to keep it alive. 11. Spock's relationship with T'Pring, and again, that's his betrothed from the episode of Muck Time, and Nurse Chapel deepens. So number one, this Nurse Chapel, from all you revealed on your streams, is complete garbage. And then this whole love triangle thing is just vomitous garbage.
No, the Nurse Chapel and I stopped watching Strange New World, so I didn't complete the season because I just couldn't take it anymore. And I just wasn't going to contribute to watching it anymore. But this Nurse Chapel has like the personality of like a hooker in a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yeah.
That's her character. like she is annoying. Like she's genetic modification is against the rules, and that's why they don't like the Illyrians. But that's what she does as her specialty. Like, it just, none of it fucking makes sense. But they can't
even stay consistent with their own fucking show. Like episode to episode, even in Strange New Worlds.
That's how they hire writers. They're like, hey, writer needed, no need to adhere to continuity whatsoever, even in your own continuity. Just write stuff and put it on screen.
No, I mean, it was a whole plot line because number one in this show has, they made her have superpowers in an episode because she's one of these Illyrian people. And like the Federation doesn't like the Illyrians because they're into genetic modification. But in a previous episode, Nurse Chapel genetically modifies them to look with a magic bullshit hypo to genetically look like the inhabitants of a particular planet. Not a cosmetic procedure like you've seen Crusher do in TNG, like an actual DNA hypospray that like changes their physical nature. Like apparently it causes their cells to completely start reproducing new alien parts like instantly. Those parts also then fade instantly if it doesn't work.
That doesn't make any sense. Did you see that other article on the Illyrians that I sent?
I did. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I read
anyway,
that one fully, but yeah.
Anyway, this is just soap opera, bad soap opera garbage.
T'Pring, like the whole thing with T'Pring completely destroys Amok Time, which is considered one of the stronger episodes of TOS. But fuck it.
10. Oh, and this is just Uhura's backstory and choice to remain on the Enterprise.
Yeah, Uhura's entire the episodes I saw, I liked the character, not a whole lot, but like she was fine. If she was just not Uhura,
yeah, exactly.
Like have her be somebody else that just happens to be there doing, but you had to name her Uhura because you needed to hook in to TOS to ruin one of the TOS characters for ratings reasons. Like, oh, we'll put Uhura on the ship along with Nurse Chapel. That'll make a whole lot of sense. And it's like, wow. But she's like a prodigy. But then I guess she must become like an alcoholic or something later in her career because Uhura's career kind of like dead ends. She kind of goes nowhere.
You better get in that chair and open a channel.
Yeah.
Starfleet knows more about the Gorn. So
ridiculous.
I'm sorry,
what they
but
did with the Gorn too.
What is this depiction from here? Which is this? Is this Strange New Worlds?
Yeah.
Because I'll admit that Enterprise changed the way that they look, and to make it even more convoluted, in one of the Riker novels that takes place, post Nemesis or whatever, they explain that the ones in Enterprise are actually like a subspecies, and the ones that like the one that Kirk fought is like the prime species or whatever. It's like,
which moderately plausible, but what they did here is they didn't just change the look of the Gorn, they changed the Gorn period. Because now the Gorn are just mutant scary monsters who somehow also have like advanced technology.
Oh, that
like
makes
they capture humans and put them in pods for meats for their hatchlings. That's
what this looks like. This looks like a really bad like 80s direct to VHS horror movie. You know what I mean? That's what this looks like. But
they changed the Gorn. They're not even like they seem like hardly an intelligent species at all. Yet they have all this technology. You're like, I don't. If they're capturing humans for food, I have to question like how they got warp.
Yeah.
Like how did they evolve to the point where like they were able to leave their own planet to hunt for food? It doesn't make sense. They just made them these generic monster characters. Like they devolved them into something really, really, I mean, even worse than anything we've seen before.
Again,
they wanted that one character to have the background where her parents were and her colony ship got captured. by the Gorn, and she was the only one to escape.
There's no reasonable, plausible explanation of how this fits in with real canon. This is simply they're reinventing everything, just like JJ did. Let's check the poll really quick here. 73% no. To
good
27
audience,
yes.
Good audience.
11 votes. So yeah, I think that's a landslide. But I hear some people that really like it. 2 guys I went to high school with, and we know that we like Trek, each other like Trek for 30 years. It's weird, but they kind of stopped interacting with me on social media whenever I just really buried Into Darkness. I already hadn't liked 2009, but I came home and wrote a post and I just buried it. And then he unironically said that the death scene and the scream was like one of the greatest things he's ever seen that's Trek. And I'm like, wait a minute, you mean that? And then they probably muted me and they don't even talk to me anymore. It's like, okay, because I'm toxic.
How in the fuck can you even put them even on the same playing field? Much less rate one above the other. Like the Kirk death scene in Into Darkness is terrible. It's not even sad. It's silly. Like it doesn't even feel like there's no emotion to it for me at all. Because I'm like, all right, they're not gonna fucking kill Kirk.
Well, not only that, but
and then they bring him back like 5 minutes later, and then he screams "Gone" because Kirk screamed "Khan" in Wrath of Khan.
That's what I'm saying. It's so contrived. It's so contrived that
it's so fake. Yeah.
That it's because it's an alternate timeline and events, but it just so happens that the opposite person died, and no, it's all because he's wanting it's a reboot is what it is. And they tried to have an in-universe explanation for it, and it failed, and it sucked. And it's a bummer that Leonard Nimoy decided to be part of it. It's too bad.
Yeah, that was I would say that's pretty disappointing that he participated in it.
Let's keep going here. 8. Why number 1 doesn't stay on Kirk's Enterprise? So number 1, no pun intended, if they were to make a legitimate Pike series, right? I don't think she would have been a bad choice cast-wise, at least with looks. Am I wrong? Well, you're not going to find someone that looks just like Majel Barrett, but
no, I'm not that hung up on that. They have to look exactly like the previous character. Like
I'm not saying look exact, but they have to look pretty close, and she does.
She looks close enough. Like I have no issues with that. The problem is that the number 1 that we saw in TOS in one episode was so vague of a character that they brought because now they're doing this Pike thing. Well, they have to have this number 1. Well, that's a position that doesn't exist in TOS. And they didn't think of what the role of number 1 was really supposed to be anyway. And for most episodes, other than the one where she got superpowers, she was just the backup bitch on the bridge. So anytime somebody got hurt or had to go on an away thing or anything else, she just sat in their chair and started doing their job. She was the understudy for all the rest of the bridge officers, and that kind of was her only role. Like I think like Tawny in Galaxy Quest had a more useful role. I have one job. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it. Like I don't know what her job is.
Yeah, and this point doesn't even make sense because he admits in this paragraph it doesn't even have an answer. So dumb point.
Well, I mean, the position doesn't even exist. So why would she be on the bridge of TOS? Like that position doesn't exist in TOS.
Yep.
There is no number 1. Like there is no like executive officer position in that one. Is like Kirk designates his first officer, but they play a dual role.
Right.
They don't have dedicated first officers. And you get like in TNG, at least with TNG with the first officer role, it wasn't just a backup position. Like, you know, he would help where, you know, like Riker would jump in where needed, but they made his role very administrative. He was in charge of duty rosters, evaluations. He was almost like an HR department kind of guy, and he had a very executive role, not like a leadership role on the bridge per se, but like that's what he did. He assigned duty rosters. He met with department heads. He was the right hand man. Like he did a lot of the administration work, so the captain didn't have to. He was almost like an administrative assistant to the captain. This show, I don't know what her job is.
Right. 7, Dr. Mbenga met an early Star Trek space god. Who is it?
I don't remember.
Let's see here. Legacy character. He gave up to a sentient non-corporeal life form.
It was his daughter in a cloud, because they gave him a daughter that has a terminal illness that's incurable. And so the daughter exists in the pattern buffer of the medical bay's transporter unit.
Okay.
Because on this Enterprise, like when they refit the Enterprise for TOS, they decided to be like, no, we're going to take away the transporter out from the medical bay. They had one, and then they took it out because they're like, oh, that would never be useful to be able to beam, you know, right to the sick bay from or from the sick bay. So she was in this pattern buffer.
And don't forget that site to site was considered risky in TOS era. In TNG, it was like they do it every other time.
Yeah, it was no big deal in TNG, but in TOS era, and of course this is before TOS era, but then they went to this cloud thing, and then there was some entity in the cloud that like saw her in the transport buffer and like made her real and cured her, but then kind of took her with them. Like they took, like she now exists in this gas cloud as some god being type person. And it was a really terrible episode because the entire episode was like they were all playing characters from one of the daughter's like fantasy books. It was so terribly done. It was so awkward, and I don't.
It sounds like it.
Like the show. I just don't get it.
Nurse Chapel innovated a key Starfleet technology. So number one,
of course,
if hold on though, if this technology didn't exist in TOS or beyond, then it's
she
not
didn't.
really a retcon. It's not really a retcon. Retcon means you change something originally. Now, if it never depicted that technology at all, then it's just okay. You're telling a story where she does this shit, and to your point, you know, she never did anyway, because all this is like a totally different Star Trek continuity.
It's a retcon in the sense that the technology doesn't exist further on. And so when you watch these other episodes, like if you go forward and watch TNG episodes or TOS episodes, you're like, why didn't they use that technology?
Yeah, they do surgery. Like I remember when
physical surgeries.
When Cisco and Odo and Worf and Miles O'Brien went to that Klingon space station on a mission, like it was like actual surgery Bashir did to make them look like Klingons and stuff.
Well, and they did surgeries, cosmetic surgeries to Picard when he went to go see Spock on Romulus. Yep. There's a number of episodes where they cosmetically modified characters, but it was a surgical procedure.
Yep. So once again,
not just a magic bullshit tech.
Yeah, this shows that it's different. It's a different timeline. Lower deckers, not like an upper decker, played Enterprise Bingo. Okay.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay. Where it was a hazing game
Okay.
for new people assigned to the Enterprise.
But once
program.
again, this guy doesn't
It's
know what
making
retcon means.
that's putting something in the show that makes fun of the show, and I'm really like, when it's not designed and the intent is not supposed to be parody within the actual, like, it's one thing when Galaxy Quest makes fun of Star Trek or Spaceballs makes fun of Star Wars, but Star Wars shouldn't make fun of Star Wars. It's just the same. Star Trek shouldn't make fun of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And this was just some stupid meta thing, but and with Easter eggs for this, for the idiot fans that exist now.
Yeah, not a retcon. Strange New Worlds reintroduced Cybok. Really?
Yes.
That's not a retcon. Again, like,
well, and he's under the care of T'Pring, who runs the prison facility or rehabilitation center that he goes to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just chucking that in there.
Pike has, and
honestly,
more
like that's one of those things that, like, you shouldn't go back to. Like, you should pretend
right.
Cybok never existed, really.
Yeah, agreed.
Because he was a shit character.
Pike has more girlfriends than previously known. Not a retcon. Again, a retcon means you change something, right, in the past. Continuity. No one ever said he didn't have a lot of girlfriends in the few episodes he was in.
Like we didn't know him very well from what we had, so like that doesn't count.
Strange New Worlds revealed another former Enterprise captain. Oh yeah, I forgot my short on this that got a lot of hate because now Robert April is black.
Yes.
And Robert April was played by Gene Roddenberry in the the backstage shots they had, and they used his depiction in the encyclopedias and stuff.
Yeah, and he's like right at the beginning of the first episode.
And on the animated series.
Yes.
He was a Welsh guy, actually. English guy. Well, so is he, but yeah, it's race swapping, and it's another continuity. Just like Khan, same thing. And again,
well,
guys,
this is that bridge chick that was also captured by the Gorn, was the only one to escape, is like a long lost like relative to fucking Khan.
Well,
how dumb!
But here's the thing with Khan. Here's the thing they could have done Into Darkness if they wanted to be smart about it. They could have done, okay, it's a white guy, but it's supposed to be the same continuity. The stupid event with what do they call the event? What's the name of that ship that Kirk's father was on? The one that gets destroyed.
Oh, and I don't know what the event was called. It was
that's what they call like the universe. Kelvin. Kelvin verse.
Because it was the USS Kelvin that was the ship.
Yeah. So that wouldn't have affected the 1990s when Khan existed. So Khan wouldn't be a white guy because of something that happened in the 2200s, right? So my idea was, okay, they kill Benedict Cumberbatch and all that shit, and then the movie ends with like they're in this room full of all the stasis units, and one of them, like, the camera goes up to one of them, and it's Ricardo Montalban in there. So the implication is that Benedict Cumberbatch was just using the name, and he really wasn't the Khan, because it didn't make any sense. It proved that it's a totally new Star Trek and a reboot, because again, if you change something in 22 whatever the fuck year it was, it wouldn't change the 1990s. So his reboot universe failed in that sense.
It failed for so many reasons. Like, one really great example with the Benedict Cumberbatch, his character
Snatch,
like, Khan was genetically engineered to have superior physical and mental abilities.
Yes.
That doesn't make him a genius that can invent whole new technologies out of whole cloth.
Mhm.
You still need, like, you could be born with the most impressive mind in the world. You still need to study and learn the disciplines of whatever field you're going into as a super genius. Just
Why did he
because you're
lose then? Why did he lose in the 1990s?
why did he lose the war?
Yeah. Why didn't he just invent all this new shit to
Right.
dominate?
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were asking, like seriously,
No,
like
no.
how could he have lost? So
Mhm.
like they bring him, they unthaw him, and then now he's able to invent whole new technologies that never existed.
Mhm.
Not future technologies that he somehow knew about because he didn't time travel.
Mhm.
They just found him in space adrift, according to Into Darkness, picked him up, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's really smart, so he's going to design all of our starships." Well, he would have to train for years just to catch up on physics. Just because you're super genius doesn't mean you instantly know everything. I hate that in Hollywood now. It's like, well, this character's really smart, so they can instantly just do anything without ever studying the discipline. Like,
Mhm.
you could be born with an IQ of 10 billion, but when you're not going to know physics until somebody teaches it to you. Or you're starting from scratch from like the very beginning of humanity. Like, you now have to learn for yourself in your lifetime all the technology that has come before, and then apply that technology and knowledge to create something new. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid, but it's JJ. He's an idiot. Leanne Noonien Singh.
Who plays this chick?
I don't know. She's not particularly good from the episodes I saw.
Christina Chung. Because, a lot of
Because
people
Sung
have been.
sounds Asian, so it's got to be an Asian.
No, yeah, he's supposed to be Indian. They said it in Space Seed, but he's
Mhm.
obviously a Latin American gentleman. He was Mexican. He was from Mexico. Montalban was. So people have been complaining that, he was not portraying the character correctly because he wasn't the right race. Well, I don't know what her, ethnic background is, but she doesn't appear to be South Asian to me.
No.
So anyway, it's all stupid. Anyway, dumb article. We could probably come up with 15 real ways that it
In one
changed
episode,
TOS.
like
Yes.
in the first episode, the series
Hmm.
premiere, I could probably
Hmm.
come up with 15 different things that they've butchered.
So super Christina Dong. Yeah. So super duper quick on this one because we've got to get to the episode because again these earbuds, this headset has been going an hour and 40 minutes now. But this, we touched on this earlier. Star Trek confirms Jonathan Archer's Dark
Yeah.
Enterprise legacy. So this Illyrian species, this race that the chick is on Strange New Worlds. Oh, by the way, check out this. Check out this. The art, Strange New Worlds. They've got the Uhuras and all them. It's bad art, by the way. I think it's terrible. Um, so basically, they said there's an episode of Enterprise where they kind of create this dilemma for Archer, where he needs a warp core, but he doesn't have one. And this Illyrian ship they come across has one, and they need help fixing something else. He's like, okay, I'll trade you for this, for that. And like, you can make it to one of your worlds in 3 years and you might make it. And they're like, yeah, no deal. Well, guess what? He raids it with Starfleet Marines and he takes the warp core anyway. And then he leaves them the stuff and then some other stuff too, some food and all this. And then oh no, this article says he had to live with that terrible, that terrible decision. So what they do is in this stupid comic with the bad art, they follow up and it explains why the Illyrians don't they don't like Starfleet because of what Archer did. So I guess his chickens came home to roost or whatever.
Which again goes against what we saw in the Una Gets Superpowers episode. It was the Federation that alienated the Illyrians and didn't want anything to do with them, not vice versa. Can't even keep like one season with like a dozen episodes or 16 episodes or whatever. Like you can't keep it straight for in your own canon.
Look at this dialogue here. Captain Archer appropriated the Illyrian vessel's warp coil to ensure the safe return of the Enterprise to Federation space. Pike, you mean he stole it? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he did.
It was a value judgment type episode. And again, it's not like he stranded him. They left him food. If you haven't seen the episode, then go watch it. But this is the kind of crap. And this one's by that other guy again, Sean Corley. So we had 2 from Sean Corley and 2 from John Corkiola, whatever the hell his name was. Orkiola. But yeah, this is the type of shit that they write. And again, if you're so hard up for topics that you're writing about this, look at this awful art. I mean, look at that, Greg. This is terrible.
It's not even worthy of like the Sunday comic strips.
No. Look at this right here. And look at this. No detail on the face. I mean, it's embarrassing and laughable. But point is, if you're so hard up that you're wanting to write stories on these awful comics, then gosh, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, just don't write an article. Or there's just nothing to talk about it. So
there's nothing to talk
just
about.
Don't. But no, like I said, these sites, I said early on, these sites have quotas for how many
Christmas
articles
Day
of this particular show that they need to do. You know.
I'm closing all those. That was painful. But we're going to talk about TNG. I know there's a lot of fans in TNG in the chat. Look what I have right here. Posted it to Twitter. I've got the novelization of Encounter at Farpoint. And I think I made a tweet on this several months ago after I bought the book. I flipped through it and stuff. And here's some interesting stuff. Like Picard, and I'll have to see if it's in like one of the original scripts, but Picard talks about not necessarily having a wife, but losing like a long-term love interest. And that was dropped from the show because no mention is ever made of that. It even gives a name. I can't think of what the name was, but this book talks about it. Like, oh, he recently, lost the love of his life. She died and stuff. And that's not mentioned at all. So that's an interesting fact.
It was his mommy who hung herself in season 2.
Really?
Not really, but like his mom. That's the new one of the backstories. Like he's been troubled ever since then, and because as a little boy, his mom was a nut job and she hung herself.
Oh, of Picard, not of TNG.
Yeah, Picard, yeah.
Well, anyway, it has some extra stuff, just like all novelizations do. So check it out. But we have the screen caps here from this great website, TrekCore. We don't have to go through them all, but I thought we could take a look at them. Did you recently watch the episode, Greg?
No, I haven't seen Encounter at Farpoint probably since we covered it last.
Yeah, same here. Not probably 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I haven't seen it since then because it's really not that great of an episode. I mean, I would watch it if I was like being a completionist, or if I was watching like I'd want to watch it because all good things bookends with it kind of nicely. Like that whole thing that then subsequently got completely destroyed by Picard season 2. But that would be the only reason I'd go back and watch the episode, honestly, is to be a completionist with the storyline that all good things.
And right out of the gate, that face makes its appearance, and it stays there for 7 seasons.
What face is that? I'm outside.
The pained face of Deanna Troi.
Mm.
In the very first scene, I might add. Gosh, that character, like, does anyone like this character? I ran into someone, I don't know, sometime in the last year online, I think, that liked the character and liked the episodes and liked, remember that one weird episode where she's floating in space toward like a binary star system?
Oh yes, that's the one. That's the one where they all get drunk, isn't it?
No. This was like later on, like in fourth or fifth season. And it
No, it's
kept
not the
saying
ones
something
with,
like eyes in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
because they're alluding to like releasing hydrogen or something.
Yeah. And somebody
okay.
was, why not just say hydrogen then?
Right.
But but somebody liked that episode and the character. But seriously, does anyone like this character? Number two, if you know the person, if you know Marina Sirtis,
Oh, what a
then
hag.
how can you separate the person from the character? Because
She's
it's
such a bitter hag now.
Mhm.
Like, oh my god, even in her interviews for promoting Picard season 2 or whatever, like she was, or Picard season 1, she was awful.
Mhm.
She was insufferable in the interviews. And like,
There's like, I won't say there's not a single episode that has her featured in that. Like the one where they kind of do like she has the Kobayashi Maru test, the new version of it or whatever, where she's learning to be a commander. That one wasn't
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
That one wasn't terrible. That's probably her best episode.
I liked it because like Will is just like slapping her down all the time.
Yeah, yeah, that was entertaining. She's just like, yeah, I'm not going to show you, and she's like, but Zadi, like, I love you. Give me the answers.
Yeah. You got the Tetris in space here, which even in 87 I thought that was weird. Here's what's different about the first season. If you go back and watch later seasons, this was gone. This freaking reclining seat for comfort at Con and Ops. I mean, look at that. Leans like
Because
back
it
at
just
a
doesn't seem
45-degree
practical.
angle.
Like, how would you? Yeah.
Now
But they probably did the change with the seats because they're like, we can't do them getting thrown from their seats if they're in that position. You know, the shaky cam, and then they all get thrown from their positions.
But here's what would have been practical with, those stupid holographic displays in NuTrek. Imagine you're leaned back like this guy, and there are rests for your wrist, and then the holograms are up here, so that because you can't hold your arms up, you can't.
Yeah, those displays in Picard are awful and completely impractical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to. You're like, oh, we want this Tony Stark looking scene.
Yep.
Just because they're unoriginal and stupid. Yeah, nobody could work at that council like that. Q.
And then this guy shows up, and immediately in magazines and everywhere else, everyone's talking about Trelane, from the Squire of Gothos. And then they even in the books, like Peter David books, they made them the same species because it was just so similar. His antics and his style of talking to the humans and stuff. Well, let me, dress up as a musketeer or whatever the hell.
So. Early TNG, one of the biggest rips on it that it was so copycat of a lot of TOS stuff.
Oh yeah, the music and
it was just very just plot lines. Literally, you have another like the Naked Now. Like, oh, it's the same water molecule virus thing that makes everybody drunk, but we'll have.
Well, they even mention it in the episode. We'll make it different too.
Because we'll have Yar fuck data.
Yeah.
Yeah,
instead
it's
of
like
Sulu running around shirtless.
Yeah.
So anyway, this character that they introduced, do you think they knew that he would be there in the series finale?
No.
You don't?
No.
I don't know. They were setting him up as a pretty big adversary, and he says he'll be back at the end of the pilot. And John Delancey seemed to eat up the role.
Like he was well cast for it. I've met him at conventions. He's a very entertaining fella. A little eccentric, a little bit like his character.
Right.
The reason I say no is because like they didn't seem to know what to do with him in a couple middle episodes, spattered throughout the series, and it was just like, we need to do a Q episode because he's popular. So what are we gonna have him do? So I don't know if it was. I don't believe that the design there was to bookend, because the final episode, All Good Things, one of the things that makes it one of my more favorite episodes of TNG isn't just that they bookend and kind of wrapped up the Q storyline, but like it also reflected a large change in the way the cast interacted, the characters interacted. They became, in the first couple seasons, they're very stiff. They're not very friendly. They're not chummy at all. And over time, like that really kind of grew. And I think that was one of the aspects of that final episode that really made sense. Maybe it was a plan all along. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. Because at that point they would have to know like how long the show was going to run, and it really didn't like it was on the chopping block in the early seasons,
big time,
very frequently.
But I do kind of like that they not necessarily the content of it, but the approach of let's just jump right into it. You open the show with him making that little log, and then okay, here they are, and then here's the cue. I like how they just jumped into it and didn't beat around the bush or anything like that. And I also like how the crew is split up and they come together later. That was kind of a cool way to start the series out.
Well, yeah, because then you could kind of grow with the characters as they grew as a team, instead of like just they're jumping in and they've been on this assignment for a while now. And then you get like, you have to fill in the gaps later. I do like that approach where like, oh, this is this new ship. We're going to pick up people here and we're going to pick up people there. And, they're going to have to figure out how to work together. And it's a really weird outfit.
Well, and speaking of World War III, after it, these
go.
were the guys that, they did all the enforcement and stuff.
And the hands.
What about this character? What about Worf?
Wow, did he change?
Well, and originally intended to kind of be there, he would have lines, but he would mainly just be a secondary character, right? That would speak some lines every now and then, not really get his own episodes. It's just like, hey, we're 100 years later, or almost 100 years later from TOS movies. We're friends with the Klingons now. It wasn't established that he was not born of, but raised by human parents or anything like that. So
I love
it was
his
just
parents,
like, hey, there's
by
a
the way.
Klingon. Oh yeah,
I loved his parents. I think that was well cast and well done. Kind of like this doting, like old school Russian. Yeah,
it was good. Yeah, that one episode,
it fits how he became kind of like. It's only those kind of parents would have been able to handle somebody like Worf.
I have all the diagrams and specs. That one episode. But yeah,
and he's like embarrassed of him, but loves him, and I'm like, Worf for me is a character that just I really loved where they were going with him, and then I thought that, man, they fucked him over. He's another one where they just, in the later seasons, they pairing him, like giving him his son. Ugh. I hate Alexander, I think, more than Wesley. Every episode with Alexander sucks, period. Like, what a wretched, stupid character that is. My God, I just can't stand those episodes. I'm like, God, punch that little fucking brat. Just can't stand.
And
him.
you never saw the ones with adult Alexander.
Well, they made him a
DS9,
complete
huh?
loser. That was awesome. I heard
Yeah.
about those, and
Mhm.
that's awesome. They made him a
Mhm.
fucking piece of shit loser. I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
that I like. And like, good.
And he
The
never
writers,
gets better either.
yeah, the writers for DS9, like they understood me. They're like, yeah, we don't like this character either. Let's make him suck. Let's just humiliate the character by just making him a piece of garbage.
Mhm.
But like, you know, it wasn't just that, but then the pairing with Troy was just awkward and weird.
Mhm.
It just didn't fit. It didn't work at all. And
Mhm.
then some of the episodes where they got into like the Kalis stuff, I'm like, not a huge fan there. Where he goes and rescues,
Right.
like he thinks his dad or his like Kalis is on this planet. Like I don't know, it was too much because it became a fan favorite. They're like, we got to do Worf episodes, and it's like, just maybe we don't, or at
Mhm.
least if we're gonna do them, make them good. And I think they did.
Yeah, exactly. Make them better than they did.
Yeah, they really him and LaForge really kind of got fucked by the writing team.
Mm-hmm.
I think more than any other character. Like Troy sucked all the way through pretty universally. Like she was never a good character. Same with like Wesley Crusher. But like these other characters had glimmers of like, hey, this could be a really good character. And then it's just like, no, let's make him garbage.
Mm-hmm.
His storyline where he has to, you know, he gets disavowed and everything. That's great stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like where he takes the dishonor and you know, basically for the good of and the future of the empire. Like that was great.
Oh, I hated the one where he finds that colony.
Yes, that's the one I was alluding to before. Yeah, like that was
Klingons
like,
and Romulans are living together. Yeah.
Yeah, with there's like a Romulan Klingon half breeds, and like, that episode was torture.
It was a two-parter.
And then when they focused too much on him doing his stupid like fucking weirdo Batleth dance shit, I'm like, stop it.
Oh yeah, the yoga or whatever
the Batleth yoga. Like
mm-hmm.
that was a little that. I'm sorry, no warrior race would do that shit.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, the character, they threw him out there, you know, like, hey, look, there's a Klingon from the start. Probably smart filmmaking there.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in the first.
Well, and that's similar
here.
to what we got in TOS. And some of the characters that were cast for the bridge weren't cast because of some notion of representation and that kind of shit. They were cast to show that, like, all right, we're gonna put a Japanese guy on the bridge to show that like we're past World War II era stuff, and it's like, okay, we got Americans, Russians, you know, we have this to show a united Earth.
Yeah.
And okay, so you put a Klingon on there to show like, okay, the Klingons and the Federation are on better or good terms now.
Mm-hmm.
Without having to tell a whole lot, you just put him there, and it's like, well, okay, I guess they're friends now, or I guess they're not mortal enemies anyway.
Yep. Speaking of representation, you get that scene of, oh, there's chaos going around on the ship, and then you get this. I don't know. Now look, I get it. Men, you know, go back
to
a
kilt. We'll call it a kilt.
Well, no, but go back to like the 1700s. Look at some pictures of like Henry VIII, and he's wearing something like a scant like that. But like that's the same exact one that the chicks wear. Like, what are you? Why? Like, so here's my question for you. In 1987, is this like woke?
I don't know. I think
did he just want some air, you know, like some air for his buddies or what?
Yeah, like did they put this in there deliberately to be like, oh yes, like the men wear short uniform skirts?
I think
too.
Roddenberry had some quotes on that saying that, yeah, it wouldn't even have been thought about or whatever. Then why wear it though?
Right. Well, I
Like,
mean, I
why?
guess I'd rather wear that than the fucking one piece onesies.
Mm-hmm.
At least you can take a piss in that one.
Yeah.
You know, just lift that motherfucker up and, you know, let her rip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The other ones is like it's a whole production.
Well, and those the one pieces were causing back pain.
They were
So,
costume design in season 1 was terrible.
mm-hmm.
In the early seasons, it was they weren't good. They looked like pajamas. Like the whole One Piece Nation would be like, what is the practical usefulness of that uniform? And like, you would never make that your uniform because it has zero practical value.
Right.
It just looks different.
There was an Asian guy that had a science one on in the same episode where he's kind of standing there. And it's like that looks terrible. It looks terrible. I just don't get the point. Well, if women can wear skirts, so can men. And then they went away for everyone.
None of the females are wearing skirts.
Troy is.
Okay, but she's not in uniform.
Huh? Yeah, she
Troy
is.
isn't
In this episode, she is. Yeah.
Is she? I thought she came in right away and she wasn't in.
See?
Oh yeah, okay.
She has the same thing on. But guess who's wearing pants?
Tasha.
Hey, is that woke? It's a female security chief.
Yeah, I think that they've cast a female in that role specifically to be counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It didn't work, by the way, because like I don't believe that Denise Crosby could kick Will Wheaton's ass.
Mm-hmm. Then here's what's cool. Look who you.
She's actually a funny person. Like, you know, she's just weird. Like,
yeah.
I don't hate Denise Crosby. She's just weird.
Yeah. Look who you have right out of the gate. First episode, you get Cole Meany as and yeah, they don't call him by name or anything, but yeah, he was retconned. That's O'Brien, obviously. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of cool from right out of the gate. And then in the series finale, they use him too, like, you know, in the newer shots and stuff. Oh yeah, and then they separate the saucer. Hey, look what the new Enterprise can do, guys. I remember that being hawked like on you know, the specials leading up to the series, like, oh, and this new Enterprise can separate. And they acted like it would happen in every damn episode, and they did it like
it's like so expensive to do, and like,
yeah, they did it like in one episode when Geordi's in charge, and then they did it obviously with the Borg.
Best of both worlds, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But not very often. Not very often. In fact, I think they overlook it as an option in a lot of the dilemmas they're in throughout the 7 seasons.
I don't know if I'd really even design a ship to do that, though.
Well, you know, Enterprise could, like TOS Enterprise, but it was permanent and it was like really for a crash landing, like the saucer section, and that was from like the original technical guides from the 70s. So yeah, I get what you're saying though. Yeah, see, she's got the thing on with the boots and all.
I feel stuff.
Yeah.
What a dumb character.
I feel pain. Good thing she never met the Horta. Pain.
Hey, but Betazoids get naked for weddings, so there's that.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a cool room they're in.
Mm-hmm.
For those kangaroo trials.
Yeah, but that, like, you know, him swinging out on that chair, that was, yeah. Like, what the hell is this? And it was like kind of wobbly.
Yeah. He
But yeah,
likes to
man,
freeze
did they
people.
cast Q correctly though? John
Oh
DeLancey
yeah,
just he's Q.
big time. And they're going through this whole process, and you're thinking, man, what a real asshole this guy is. That's all you're thinking. And then you got this character here that's running the Bandy City.
Yes, and he's
That
only
was
doing it because like that's his life passion and everything, and that was his goal. He didn't
yeah,
he didn't need the money or anything. He had everything his basic needs, but he's like, easy life on Earth is boring, so I'm gonna go run this weird facility out on a big rock. That'll be fun.
yeah. Oh yeah, and she was so hot in season 1.
Mm.
Man.
Got a thing for the redheads, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Got a thing for a lot of the heads. Brown, blonde.
I got a
don't
thing for
care.
head.
On the receiving end.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm a giver. Not
uh, remove. And this is where he makes Will.
This
Hey,
was a two-parter, wasn't it, too, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
It was a
Well, it
long
was
story
one
for what it
movie,
was.
but then they had to
Yeah.
split it for syndication.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, you have to reconnect the ship, as a test." And it's stupid because why wouldn't you just like tell the computer to do it?
That's one thing, and that's one thing that they did in like in the original movies too. Is like, oh, have you ever piloted a ship out of space dock? And it's like, but you're not piloting the ship. You're telling all you're doing is telling the helmsman to go forward.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why that would be like a nervous thing. Like when Kirstie Alley's character, God rest her soul, is like, it's like, oh, would you like a train? Like, why is this a big deal? I would be like, okay, and I'd be like, helmsman, go forward. That's all you do. That's being in charge of taking that space. Like, why wouldn't that process be 100% automated? It's fucking automated now.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Then they introduce Geordi, and they of
got to
course
give a little backstory with the eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some exposition here. I don't know. I get it. You want to give the guy some character and stuff, but I don't know why make it. What did they really do with that? The first.
Oh,
season,
they used the visor. They used the visor for some bullshit throughout, but
yeah, I mean the first season, especially like when they hook up a feed or whatever. Why didn't they ever do that again? But then they use it. The Romulans use it to brainwash him, and yeah.
And then, of course, the Klingons use it to get the shield frequency or whatever in generations. What I don't understand about the visor, like, is that they make it seem like his vision is now so much more special. And yes, compared because of the frequencies and light ranges and everything that he can see, all fine and dandy. But why would that be more useful than a tricorder?
Yes. Exactly.
Like, because like in this episode, he's like analyzing the walls of the tunnels and all this other stuff with his super neat visor vision. But like, why would that give more information in his visor that you would get from a tricorder? I maybe if like they didn't have the tricorders or anything around, or like they were captured or whatever, and they didn't take his visor for some reason, like then yeah, that could be part of the story. But I never bought that like what he was seeing through the visor was something that sensors couldn't otherwise see as well.
Well, not only that, but just to have a feed or whatever, it's like they grossly underpredicted like body cams.
Well, yeah, and like we're getting there with Neuralink in our time, like
yeah.
So yeah, they grossly underestimate like the technology there. My issue primarily is that it doesn't seem consistent with like what other scanners could do. Like, why is his so special? Like, if his thing could do that, like, why wouldn't you equip like the ship with sensors that have that visor's ability? Like, they made it too special. And it just as a gimmick to kind of be like, hey, he's the guy with the visor. He's going to give us some extra information.
Yep.
So they got the extra sight, and then they have the, you know, the third eye with fucking Troy and in this episode. And that was a heavy plot element. And I just didn't understand that. Great scene. I thought it was great seeing him on there. Like, I know it's gimmicky and everything like that, but it was still kind of like, it was nice.
Well, you had to have some kind of, you know, handing off of the torch or whatever, you know, you had to have something like that.
And like as a dignitary.
And it had to be him because he was the only one stubborn enough to stay alive that long. Yeah,
because he would. I wish the actor would have. But
yeah.
Because I really would have liked to meet him.
Yeah, I remember reading in the Star Trek Communicator. It was kind of like the Star Wars Insider, you know, version. And I remember late 90s, they started out saying, hey, DeForest Kelley is closing like all fan mail, not going to be read. It'll be returned to sender because he just wants to live the rest of his life in private and shortly after he died. So pretty sad, you know, just to read that he had been responding to fan mail for all those years.
I love that he did that though. Not that he had to stop, but like he had the integrity to basically go like, look guys, like I'm not going to be able to read these anymore and respond to them. So don't send them. Cause the easy thing to do there would be to just like, well, I'll have my publicist like send back a thank you form letter.
Yes.
And pretend that the guy actually got the message, even though he wasn't reading them. Just like how actors have like, I mean, they don't even tweet their own shit half the time anymore.
Right.
They got their publicists and agents and everything else working for it. But to have the integrity to just go like love you guys, but honestly, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I don't want to mislead you. So if you do send something, it's going to get sent back. So please don't waste your time. I think that's like, from everything I've known and seen and watched of like DeForest Kelley, that fits.
Yes.
And I do like this scene. Like he played it well.
It was short and sweet, and it did what it needed to do.
Yeah. It's like,
I love how like back then Worf would just draw his phaser for everything.
Because he was and like the funny thing is that Cube would call him out and basically call him like a dog.
Yeah. And that would just make him even more.
Yeah, it would make it, and then Worf would be like,
This face, right? She's actually crying. There's a tear right there. If she had acted exactly like this throughout the whole series, it would have been even more unbearable. But even what she did do was bad enough. But if it had been this hammy, oh my word.
Fortunately, they like wrote out her abilities for a lot of it, and then she just became like a co-administrator.
All the talking in the head in this episode was annoying as fuck. Oh, the holodeck. So they had to show off the holodeck. She's like,
that was the neat new toy.
Oh, and this is where she looks at his butt. Remember that? They had to establish that, hey, Riker's a heartthrob.
Yeah.
Yep. So
he's the dashing lead.
You
know, he's the Kirk.
Up and look who they introduce.
See, in my fan fiction, he hits his head and it's a mortal wound. Like his head lands on that other rock and it gashes it completely open like a melon, in half. And then the brains just kind of leak into the water. And then they go end program, and then it's just his like brain matter on the floor, the grid floor.
Jeez. Yeah, so they had to show off the holodeck and show off the strength of Data because he lifts them.
Yes. But establish that he can't whistle.
Yeah.
Or use contractions, although he slips and does very frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another one that was silly. You'd be like, you can't program contractions?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was stupid. It's almost like it's illogical to use them or some garbage like that. Well, no, it isn't.
But it's not. And like literally with the programming language that existed at the time this came out with, you could make it do contraction. Be like, okay, anytime that the text says cannot, just say can't.
Mm-hmm. And then this stupid scene.
Well, and then they had to establish that, like, Grandpa Picard here is really uncomfortable with kids because.
Yeah. Well, okay, hold on. Let's back up here. Because you're about 5 months younger than I am, right? Well, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're the age that he was right there in that picture filming this.
I know.
He was 46, guys. Everyone listening, Patrick Stewart was like 46, 47 in the filming.
He was actually like sexiest man alive one year in the 80s as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. During the run of TNG.
Now, does that make you guys feel old or what? You don't believe me? Let's look it up here. Patrick. Shit, I spelled it wrong. Patrick Stewart. And it's where's his birth date? 1940. So yeah, 1987 they were filming it. He was about 47 years old, and I'm about to hit 47 in a month and a half. So
there you go.
In some ways it makes me feel good because he looks literally 65 there. even though 65 but in good shape, he still looks 65. He doesn't look 47. Sorry.
No, and like he was cast for his voice.
Mm-hmm.
More than anything. They wanted that projection stage voice. Mm-hmm. And the seriousness, and we're gonna have the serious grumpy captain that doesn't has no emotions at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was a weird decision that they made with his character early on, and they moved away from it, I think, as best they could.
Mm-hmm.
But then unfortunately they reverted all the way back to season 1 Picard for the Picard TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It was so odd and jarring.
Yep.
Why is the sequel to TNG showing us season 1 Picard?
Mm-hmm. Is he vegan? And then you get the Space Invader aliens here, right? That guys, we need a ship. We need a ship for this Star Trek show that we're bringing back. What do? Make a flying saucer. They
wasted all the budget on the model because the thing is for these shows, the Enterprise was a model in the early seasons. It wasn't CGI. And so they had to build this huge, the launch cost of this TV series was tremendous. Because all the models and sets that they had to make for this fucking show, just to do the pilot,
yeah,
was extraordinarily expensive, and a lot went into it. So,
yeah, space that literally looks like Space Invaders,
purple phasers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these screen caps are both episodes. It's not just part 1, so we're moving through it pretty quick here. And then it starts bombarding it, and oh yeah, this is how transporters look in TNG.
Yep.
This guy's like a neurotic mess at this point. That guy wasn't a bad actor in that role either.
No, he played the role well. He's like slimy, but like kind of relatable.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Got to send an away team onto the flying saucer.
Yep.
And then
got to make sure Troy tells us the thing's in pain.
Oh,
God, that was terrible.
Well, the part where she gets happy and cries like tears of joy.
Joy. I feel joy.
Yeah, it's terrible. So then this thing turns into like a
like a blue butthole. I'll say it for you. It's a fucking ass.
Sphincter.
Yep.
Flying sphincter, not a flying saucer.
Yep.
With the well, now they now they have something called a JBP.
He's rimming it. He's moving his cursor around.
Yeah. Circular motion. Does anyone know what JBP stands for? And it's not Jordan B. Peterson. It's a newish thing. It's called a jeweled butt plug. And that's what that's what it looks like.
How do you know of such things, Tim?
Research.
Let's bring up your
research.
Google search history on stream.
No, let's not. It automatically erases when I close browser. So
I know what OG is searching for on Amazon right now. I see you're in the chat.
Oh man. No, and then it transforms into this technically
a big jellyfish.
Yeah, and there's like, oh, let's give it some energy. Let's help it. And then of course they always I'm surprised it didn't come from the deflector dish,
Right.
And then they find out, oh, somehow these dumb ass backward people on this planet were able to figure out how to manipulate this supposedly advanced alien entity.
Yeah, by giving it just enough energon cubes to survive on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This shot's completely awful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just stupid. And then this is...
and then they do the Avatar thing.
Ding! It's mating right there, guys. That's what's happening.
It's the Avatar thing right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, barf. I feel joy. She's like, what the fuck?
Why am I even here?
I won't be for another season.
Why did after Q froze me, why did you even thaw me out?
Yeah. And honestly, that's the end of the fucking episode. I don't know.
Shaky start, man. Shaky start.
Yeah, not a very good outing.
The introduction of the characters wasn't done poorly.
Mm-mm.
They spent enough time. We'd be like, all right, here's the bridge crew. We're going to kind of follow them as they're boarding the ship and getting into the positions. But the actual plot, pretty shaky.
Let's see what's out there.
Yes, you have that whole, adventurer spirit kind of thing at the end.
But there's no Q,
Right.
Oh, yeah, there he is. He shows up. Yep. I'll be back, or whatever the hell he says. And they did use him again in the first season.
Yep. I do wish, though, like overall, that they would have left Q just to TNG.
Oh yeah, I mean,
his stint in DS9, with Cisco punching him was okay, that's supposed to establish Cisco as some tough guy, but what was worse was his Voyager episodes. Blech.
Yeah, and they did way too many of them, and then they tried to bring in more Q, and I thought they did too much in TNG, to be quite frank. Like that girl the
little girl one that did the little wavy thing with her arms.
And then the guy with the blonde hair that showed up. There was
I like the
another
one where he
Q.
lost his powers.
Yeah.
That was
Is-
fine because like Corbin
Mhm.
Burnson was in there, like Mr. LA Law
Mhm.
was in the episode, and he was just like he dropped in on him. Like he really wasn't much of a factor in the episode.
Yeah.
I really hated that they made like the whole thing with Guinan and the Q. I'm like, how is Guinan's race even like remotely able to do anything? Like, I never understood that. I never will.
Mm-hmm.
Like Whoopi Goldberg's making like cat claw motions at Q. Oh no.
Oh.
The guy who can change the gravitational constant of the universe is getting cat clawed.
We got to find that. Hang on, let me stop sharing. We got to find. We're jumping ahead like several seasons here.
Like you literally could almost like you watch the episode, you can hear the
when I Google Guinan Q, it's the very first image.
There you go.
Hold on. Share image in new tab. Gosh, that was awful.
Wow. Now imagine her doing it with an extra 200 pounds.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. You know what truly would have been a threat to Q was they should have brought him onto The View. And then
they'd probably love him.
Oh man.
Like I'm sure he's probably very liberal. But
yeah,
like Guinan's character.
No, I meant the character.
Fine.
They should have brought the character on The View. Yeah.
But I don't get how like she would be a threat at all to Q's. And neither did the show writers. They just do something with your hands, Whoopi. Okay, like this, and they're like, yeah, do that, and then we'll CGI some magic, and they're like, we're not gonna CGI anything. We'll just make her look stupid.
Jack of all casuals, member of the channels in the house. Blue-eyed Scorpio's here. Yeah. That reminds me though. Do you know who Benny Hinn is?
No.
So he's a televangelist and he heals people, and it gets so ridiculous. Like he'll take off his jacket of his suit and he'll start like going, and he'll hit people with it and they'll fly back like 5 feet and stuff. This one guy did like this. This one guy did this Ric Flair flop, but backward. He went boom and goes straight down, and his helpers like didn't even catch the guy. So someone took this one clip where he took his jacket off and he's got a line of people to be healed up on the stage, and he starts going left, right. So someone took like the Duel of the Fates theme, and then they gave him like a red lightsaber, and they did the peace and security of the Republic and establishing the first galactic empire, and then he just starts going zhu. You have got to see that. It's freaking hilarious. There's some, and this is real stuff on TV. He'll run to the front row and be like, blah, and yell. And then the first 2 rows, they go, ah. It's like, how much is he paying these people, to jump back like that? Play the clip. Let's see if I can find it. Let's do it. Why not? We're 2.5 hours in. It's almost 1 a.m. Why not? Jesus. Let's see. Yeah. Benny Hinn, Sith Lord. Someone's looking for it.
Calendar ancestors.
I better not play the audio though, because they'll get me for the audio.
Probably just claim it.
Yeah, I don't want it claimed.
Okay.
Because you get too many claims and we know what happens, right?
Oh, yes.
All right. So this is a real guy. My mom used to watch him, not so much, out of, I want to see this because she thought it was funny.
I believe in it. It was, yeah.
Here it goes. Jeez. Yeah, that was the funny one when he kept swinging it like a baseball bat, and the people would just like march right by. That's the end of it.
So is this the guy like Buddy Love was like mirrored after?
Who's Buddy Love?
Or like whoever the Undertaker's or the Undertaker's
Brother Love.
Yeah.
No, if you read interviews, he was like an amalgam of all the guys from the 80s. Because this shit right here is from the early 2000s.
Oh, are you serious? People
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, but he was like Jimmy Swaggart, Ernest Angley, Earl Roberts. Yeah, that's who Brother Love was. And that, let me tell you, Bruce Pritchard played that accent and everything to the T. I mean, it was so great. Because I've been watching, 91 at this point. I'm doing 81 and 91 wrestling, all promotions that I can get my hands on. And he was around in 91. And oh my gosh, he's just great. Brother Greg. No, but this Benny Hinn guy, like, watch the real thing, not just like spoofing it like this. It's freaking hilarious. That one where he takes his jacket like a baseball bat and they're just walking up, one, next person. It's like, how much are they paying them, to... And
he's thinking the whole time in his head is like, these motherfuckers are paying me to whip them.
Mm-hmm. It's freaking hilarious.
Jesus.
That's
a grift.
Oh, yeah. But it's not really unlike too much other stuff,
Nope.
That we really won't go into.
No, not tonight.
Mm-mm. So that was the episode breakdown, guys. We're going to do TNG. It's going to take a long time, but
yeah,
we would encourage you, like, if you have whatever it's on now, I think it's on Paramount Plus. Here, let's go to this cool website. And my mouse is acting up again, even though I put a new battery in it. I swear I got to get a wired one.
When you were saying that earlier in the stream, I think one of the reasons that the wireless devices appear to be less useful is that that they've depowered them so they can extend the battery time on the package.
Oh yeah. And I don't know if it's using a different transition or transmission technology, because before it was like radio frequency, RF, right?
Yeah.
What is it now? It's could be Bluetooth or who knows what.
I think most of them are IR or RF.
Okay. All right. So justwatch.com is freaking amazing. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to type in TNG.
I bet you it's still on Amazon yet. It'll be on Paramount, I'm sure.
It doesn't know what TNG is. So let's see. Star Trek Next. I don't want to type the whole thing out. All right. I go here and it says to stream it, it's only on Paramount right now. Well, no. It's also on, it's on Amazon as well. And it's on the Roku channel. Do you have the Roku channel? Do you have to pay for that?
I don't think so, but it's commercials.
Because if you go to free, it says nothing is available.
I tried to watch something on the Roku channel, and it was like they were sending the movie like one bite at a time by carrier pigeon.
Yeah. So anyway, it should be on Amazon or Paramount Plus. So feel free to watch. What's the next episode? It depends. It depends if you look at production numbers, right, or if you look at air numbers.
I would say air date.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that air date is correct, but sometimes, like in syndication, they'll air it the other way, and probably unwittingly, they probably just don't realize it.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find.
Like people aren't going to watch it every episode anyway when it's in syndication. I'll just like, hey, when it's on, they'll watch it.
What the fuck?
Is it The Naked Now is the second one? That's what Kaylee Chow says.
Yeah, probably. I'm trying to find where the fuck the episode list is. Because Wikipedia has apparently changed the way that they do this. Usually they'll have it. All right, there it is. The Naked Now, yeah. It's by air date. It was a week later. And again, they wholly admit that in the episode that, hey, it's the same disease that afflicted the old Enterprise. So it's not like they're just ignoring that part of it. Daniel James is in the house. Air date
Oh,
is
the third one's Code of Honor.
Firefly. Yeah, that was the racist episode. But Firefly, and here's another show they screwed up. Crusade, the Babylon 5 spinoff. They took all these episodes and said, oh, we're going to air them in this order. And nothing even matches up. Like what has happened in prior episodes, uniform change, all this stuff. WB really screwed JMS over on that show because had an interesting premise and all that stuff. Happy New Year to you too, Daniel. Member of the channel. Roku TV is free with ads. Okay, well, try that. Try Amazon if you have Paramount Plus because you watch, like Yellowstone. I don't watch it, but I know a lot of people like it. Then watch The Naked Now and Code of Honor. We'll try to cover both. And I don't know when we're going to have another one of these because, again, as I mentioned, pretty big life event coming up for me. But we'll do these regularly because we like to and we think other people like us to do it. Correct me if I'm wrong. What else, Greg?
Well, I think that about covers it.
That about covers
I like doing these shows, and I like kind of pushing back, in particular, like on these the redefinition of what Star Trek is and what it is at its core by the people who are running it now or are fans of the modern stuff, and like because they're just trying to lie and through the force of repetition redefine all of our stuff really, but like Star Trek, it seems like they really are gung-ho about it.
Well, yeah, they're trying to make it what they've pretended it was since the 60s. Yeah, what they want it to be. Yeah. You know how you say you want to see yourself in something? Well, if you're a communist, you want to see communism in something so you can see yourself.
That might be it.
I mean,
Or just, you're not a very bright person and you think that, we can just magically invent magic bullshit tech and live in a utopia.
Yeah, and then try to apply those rules to 2022 where they wouldn't work even if you had the magic bullshit tech. So it's stupid. It's wishful thinking.
It would destroy society.
Yeah. For sure.
Like society would become like the society you see in that Disney movie with the little robot. Just a bunch of fat people on mart carts doing nothing.
And guys, I'll put this out on social media too, but if there are any Star Trek topics you want us to cover, whether it's in current news or something from the past, like if you're curious about something, go back and look at the old streams too. We've talked about a lot of interesting stuff you might not have heard about. Like I think the last one we did almost a year ago was on the original idea for what became the motion picture. It was going to be Star Trek Phase 2. It was going to be a series with all the same uniforms and ship design, but then they're like, oh, we don't want to do a series. Well, guess what? That got him Nimoy, because he said, I'll do a movie. I'm not going to commit for a whole series. And then they took the pilot episode and they turned that into the motion picture. Stuff like that. If you're interested in anything, just DM it to me or reply to a tweet and say, hey, talk about this sometime, because I'm telling you guys right over here in the library section of the studio. Huh?
Or send us a link to a ridiculous.
Yeah, send us a link to an article. Like, give us your thoughts on that. But in the library over here, I have tons of lore books, of novels, of autobiographies on Star Trek. I know quite a bit about Star Trek, probably as much as Star Wars, because I've been into both since I was a kid. So let us know. Let us know for sure. We are open to doing that. Bulge comparisons. Yeah. Oh, man. Those uniforms were terrible. We talked about them earlier in the stream.
Yeah.
I mean, just terrible. It was like everyone has a Barbie and Ken bump, Don't say Lori will summon Rhino. I'm sure he's lurking out there.
Yeah, he might be.
Or might be recovering from New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I didn't catch the full Aussie New Year's show, but I guess they got...
I like all the Trek. Yeah. I had quite a bit to drink, but again, I usually recover pretty well. I wake up, take about 3 aspirin and drink a pot of coffee, and I'm good to go. And plus, I don't drink cheap alcohol either. That makes all the difference.
Helps.
Oh my gosh. Did I tell you? I just got the goosebumps thinking about it in a bad way. But these new mixed drinks that they make, like these cocktails in a can?
Yeah.
Don't buy them. Don't drink them. I bought this one that was a Crown cranberry. I'm like, well, it's Crown. It looks kind of good. I bought it and I poured one into a glass, drank it, woke up at like 2 a.m. and I vomited. That's what cheap alcohol does, guys. If you drink good beer, you drink good hard liquor, you're not gonna get hungover and vomit. Period.
Oh, I bet you.
I'm not saying go out there and buy a $200 bottle of bourbon, but don't buy a $10 bottle of bourbon. Buy a $50 bottle. It'll last longer and it'll prevent you from getting really sick.
There you go.
Oh, I gotta approve some chats here. Blue-Eyed Scorpio says, I've eaten 8 full-size chocolate butterscotch cookies. Okay. Speaking of thoughts, Daniel James is pushing Bulge in chat. He says, I was out partying and came back to the full Aussie halfway through, and they had been talking about me. And they have dick prints on the uniforms. Yeah, let me kill those sex bots. It's been a while since we've had a sex bot. That sounded weird.
Hey, they missed us. Good to see him back.
Now, if it were a real robot. No, I don't know.
That's the technology breakthrough I'm looking for.
Yeah. All right.
That's one area in DS9 that they should have, delved into more, is those hollow suites.
Yes.
Hollow hookers.
Oh yeah. They did a little bit. So guys, we're gonna try for Wednesday for grounds of expediency, but I'm not sure yet because that's the actual day of my anniversary, not the day that we're gonna celebrate it. So I'll try to make a decision on that sometime tomorrow, out of respect for Greg too. So
thank you, sir.
Yeah. Because again, once I'm in the saddle and I'm past all the holiday and I'm still unpacking, we're going to be streaming and making videos and having fun. So Everyone knows the way to kill sex bots is to strip to your undies and dance to a classic Aussie rock song, I Touch Myself. Yeah. I'm not going to try it, at least not right now.
I'll take your word for
it. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Awesome, consistent crowd for almost 3 hours. Greg, thanks for joining me on a Sunday night on a holiday. Appreciate it.
The real holiday is New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you're right. Very true. Very true.
But good to be back. Good to be talking Trek. I've always been more of a Trek person than a Star Wars person. Not that I don't like Star Wars. Like, I don't believe in this rivalry between the two franchises. Like, you can like both of them just fine. They're different. But I've always liked the Trek stuff more than Star Wars.
Right. Personally.
It's sad to see that, like, Star Trek really kind of gets left by the curb, as you know, in our circles and things like that. Not a whole lot of people are talking about it because, you know, people are so tuned out of it now that people aren't even clicking the videos. So don't watch season 3 of Picard.
Don't watch it.
I'm not gonna.
People watch it just to see the original crew back together, and if they did, I'd laugh if they pulled like a Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams and didn't even put them together in a lot of the scenes.
Oh, they're just off doing their own little missions or whatever. That would be kind of funny. Like, but even if that's like your thing, is like, oh, I want to see like the original cast back together. Understand that they're like shoehorning in 7 of 9 and her fuck toy into the series as well. And that's not a revival of TNG when you do that.
Right.
That's a gimmick.
Sex bots. You could also call them fuck droids.
There you go.
Yeah, and smash that like button on the way out, guys, and become a member. Like, if you're always coming to the streams, it's $2.99 a month. Just become a member and contribute to helping keep the lights on in the channel. It's freaking awesome. You can use the emojis and eventually the perks. We're going to get into doing those. So definitely do it. There's Blake, who also missed banning the sex bots. He already knows what happens. So you have a source then? Is that what you're saying? Does a civil war happen in season 3? Got the emojis there, but yeah, we're gonna jet out of here, guys. Thanks for being here. It's been an awesome stream, and you get to hear this amazing theme, and you get to see the amazing ship design by Daniel James, our own Daniel James, in the chat. Have a good night.